Keys podcast. I am your host, Joel Lopez, and we're bringing you another fire edition of the college football edition of the Read Your Keys podcast. Go ahead and like, subscribe, squish, smash, pulverize the appropriate buttons. We're on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Check out your boy, Ricky Baby.
Joe Lopez.
Our boy, our boy James Williams finally got some run.
He did. He got a pick too. But by the way, just so you know, Miami's back. 69 points. Central Connecticut, a powerhouse in their own right in the state of Connecticut. We went to the Northeast, punked the best team in the state, took no prisoners, hide the women and children, bring on Virginia.
Because the other team is UConn, right? So I guess Uncle Luke was a happy uncle.
Yeah, whatever. Our freshman quarterback. I can't even comment on that game, man. I can't.
Did you watch it?
I can't. Fire Diaz. Besides, everybody knows I'm an Alabama fan. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide. Let's go to last week's games, man. The big one.
What? The scary one was Georgia. Alabama. Auburn.
Yeah, Georgia State, Auburn. Yeah, I was like, what is going on? Did Bo Nix end up getting hurt? Is that what happened?
Nope, they benched him.
Really?
They benched him, brought in that mobile quarterback, and on fourth down, and I want to say it was like 12 or something, he threw a touchdown.
Oh, was that close?
No, in fact, worse than that. They were losing the whole game.
No, they were losing. That's I was like, what is going on? Like,
yeah. And then there was a call. I didn't see it, but there was a call that supposedly flipped the game.
No way.
So Georgia State call for Georgia. I don't know when it happened, but
for Auburn, you mean?
For Auburn, I mean. Yeah. I did see the touchdown, and I don't know if they got a quarterback controversy in Auburn or not, but when you see these teams, and I know every week is different in its own right, has its own story, but you look at, we're all fired up about Penn State, right? Mm-hmm. In the whiteout game.
Right.
Then, and Auburn looked like they played well. And maybe it's a letdown game because that's definitely a possibility. But then they go and almost lose to Georgia State, which begs the question, well, how good is Penn State really?
Yeah, yeah, you sent me that text, and I was like, the same thing.
Yeah, it's like, all these teams that struggle against these other teams, it's like, well, how good are these teams that beat them?
Every week is different, right? Like, you understand that every week is different, but Georgia State has no business being in the same stadium as Auburn.
No,
and to be in the lead, they were in the lead late. If I saw that right, it was like the third quarter, and they were up by like 10 or 14. And I was like, man, because it wasn't on TV where I'm at, so I didn't get a chance to see it. But I was like, whoa, what is going on here?
You don't have the SEC network?
Well, that's part. They're on ESPN. So no, I don't have the SEC network, but
you don't. So you live in a communist state, then, basically.
Freer than where you're at, for sure.
We have the SEC network.
Oh, okay. They're keeping you satisfied.
Yes.
Just go watch your football. You'll be satisfied. And it is satisfying. But the big one, the Notre Dame, I had some things to do in the morning, and I missed basically the whole Notre Dame Wisconsin game. And I went to the grocery store, and I saw one of the clerks there had a Wisconsin shirt on. I was like, hey, what happened with the game? He just shook his head and he started saying something. I was like, oh, was that bad? Huh? He's like, yeah, it was bad.
You know what? It wasn't bad. It was just a 31-0 fourth quarter run.
Yeah, it was crazy. I was I heard that Notre Dame's quarterback Cone went down, the transfer from Wisconsin, and I was like, man, how did this happen? But
benched. I don't think he went down. I think he got benched.
Oh, he got benched. Well, I saw the highlights. I heard he got hurt. So I heard
Okay, maybe he did. Maybe he did.
I heard he went down because it was like I was watching, like I was flipping through because I'm a channel flipper on Saturdays. I'm constantly flipping between games. And I think it was Brady Quinn that said, I heard him say something like, "Oh, Jake Cohn went down and then the backup came on." So that was the only I didn't read about the game.
Yeah, Brady was dressed like a little leprechaun.
Oh, was he?
Well, I mean, he had a blue suit with a plaid vest on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that was a step. Like I watched the highlights of it, and the extended highlights. So it wasn't just like the touchdowns or anything. And it was a tight ball game all the way into the fourth quarter. And they kicked a field goal, and I think they went up. Did Wisconsin go up on the field goal, or they got it close? Because
I think it was 13-10.
Yeah.
Notre Dame or Wisconsin, and Notre Dame went on that 31-0 run.
Well, they went on they returned the kickoff. They took it to the house, and then
that's right after the field goal.
Yeah, right after they took it to the house.
That was a nice return too.
It was a thing of beauty, and then they had two pick sixes, and that was really.
Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin's fell apart, but one thing that I see every week is that Alabama, there's a gap, Georgia, and there's an enormous gap between the rest. It's a lot of parity. Mm-hmm. I think this is going to be the toughest the college football committee is going to have.
I think so too.
Year.
Yeah. And we've been saying that, and the thing is, I don't really know how good Georgia is, or even Bama.
Yeah, you do.
We know they're consistently good.
They're taking care of business, though.
Well, the Florida game was way closer than
Florida's decent, though. Florida's not a bad team.
They're not bad.
Yeah. You're not gonna blow out everybody, and it was on the road. Right? That was actually Bryce Young's first road game. I mean, he's a freshman.
The Swamp.
That's a tough place to play as a freshman in your first road game.
No.
And so Georgia's winning like 69-0 over Vanderbilt. I mean, their defense is just phenomenal. That's going to be if they play in the SEC championship game, that's going to be a huge match.
I think this week there's some exciting games where it's like, okay, who are the lead dogs? And I think there's some pretty big tests coming up this week. That's be fun to talk about.
This week?
This upcoming week. But let's go ahead and finish last week. So where we go? Notre Dame, Wisconsin. The other things that I noticed, Oklahoma, they're not putting up a lot of points. I thought they were going to be putting up 40 points. Spencer Rattler would be dealing. The score on that was like 17-14.
23-16, was it, against West Virginia?
Something like that. I still think of West Virginia as the Dana Holgorsen West Virginia that was putting up points. So I'm not sure. It's a decent team.
Well, it is a decent team. They rocked Virginia Tech.
Yeah.
But Oklahoma was ranked number 3. Now they're not, right? So
it's one of those things, right? They're winning, but they're not winning the beauty pageant.
And we only got 4 teams going to the playoffs, and you're tied. The tiebreaker is beauty. How purdy are you?
How nice are you in the swimsuit? And if they went out in the Big 12, I don't know if that's going to be enough.
Oh, come on. There'll be enough.
You think so?
Here's why. Who else is going to win out in their conference? You even said yourself there's not going to be a lot of undefeated teams.
Yeah.
So.
And the ACC champion, I don't think goes.
ACC champion won't be undefeated. In fact, the ACC champion may not make the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying.
So that means either Oregon wins out, they're in, or you're going to have multiple SEC teams in. I'm leaning towards multiple SEC teams because I guarantee Oregon's going to fall.
You think so? Oh, that's
I know so.
Okay. I saw the highlights for the Oregon State. I didn't watch the game. The Oregon State USC game. Oregon State beat up on USC. The Oregon State football team does not look like the Oregon State. But you know what's weird is I looked at they had a loss and they lost to Purdue. And it's like, okay, that's a Big Ten team.
The nasty Big Ten team. Let's clarify that.
Have you
That's
seen?
Not a good Big Ten team.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it wasn't like they were playing even Iowa or Iowa State, right? That caliber, Purdue. But man, they look like they belong to like SC has players. Like you can say, you could say whatever you want about the coaching situation, whenever like they got players there. And Oregon State had a big like everybody looked big, physical, and fast.
You do realize SC lost to Stanford, right?
I do.
Okay. You realize they got blown out by Stanford, right?
I'm telling you that Oregon State football team, the way they play, when Oregon plays in that Civil War game, which is already a rivalry game, I would not be surprised. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, okay. I got you. They'll lose before then, but go on.
Who? Oregon?
Oregon. Or I would say they would lose in the Pac-12 championship game, but who would they play? I mean, can you guys like put San Diego State in there real quick? I mean, who would they play?
UCLA, baby.
Oh my gosh. No, it won't be them, but man. I mean, who? Maybe it could be with a 4-4 record in the Pac-12. Maybe it could be.
You're crazy.
I mean, think about it. Who in the Pac-12 is going to come out the West?
The North, the South,
or whatever, the South.
Yeah. Well,
exactly.
UCLA plays ASU this weekend.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Exactly. That's terrible.
I'm still. Yeah, I was impressed with Oregon State, man. So I would say be on the lookout for them. I think they'll
look out for them to what? Upset Oregon, you mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay, yeah, I guess. Let's not waste minutes talking about Pop Warner.
So we're not talking about Miami this week, then.
They're not Pop Warner.
Oh yeah,
they just need a coach.
Oh, okay, yeah, just like USC does. Oklahoma didn't look good. Oh man, Clemson lost finally. Like they've been playing with fire, and it finally.
They've been flirting with defeat, haven't they?
Yeah. They had the Georgia one, which was understandable. It's like, okay, this is Georgia, but they didn't look good even after that or since that. The offense hasn't looked good. I can't put my finger on it. I think the O-line,
offensive line,
the receivers, they don't look like they were really. To be fair, I think they get these big, strong, physical receivers, but they don't seem like they have like the quick little slot receiver that can kind of work the middle and work those kind of routes. That they're all these big 6'2+, 220+ receivers, and they're great. They're great to have, but you need to have some diversity in your receiving guys who can do little quick outs and hitches and things like that. And those big guys, they're good. They're good for nice fade routes and stuff over the top. But you need stuff in the middle too. I don't think they had like the Hunter Renfrow that they would always have, right? That's kind of security blanket.
Yeah, I think they can't run the ball.
Etienne was big.
Yeah, they had a line, but now they don't. So that's a problem. And
I think they lost their stud D tackle too, Breezy.
Mm-hmm.
That dude can play. So, yeah, man,
they're done.
They're struggling.
They're done.
Now they're trying to figure out. Like I don't know what the answer is.
So now that ACC championship game is going to be terrible. That's going to be just equally terrible as the Pac-12 championship game. I mean, you're looking at like North Carolina State versus Wake Forest. Who's watching that? Pitt versus Wake Forest. I'm not watching it.
Notre Dame, last year they were in the ACC. This is the year they would have been in there. They could have got their automatic bid.
Say it again.
Notre Dame, if they were in the ACC, because last year they were in there, right? They put them in there to schedule games.
Yeah, the AC's bad this year.
Yeah, that's not good. Baylor upsets Iowa State.
Yeah. Well, Iowa State wasn't that good to begin with. They struggled with Northern Iowa. They lost to Iowa, who, because Iowa beats Iowa State, they get ranked in the top 5. That's just amazing in a ridiculous ranking at best, right?
And Iowa just grinds out these games. Like they might have been up by 3 over whoever they were playing this weekend, and the announcer was like, "They're not going to lose. They're just going to grind out. This is what they do." And he was right.
Who, but it was just Iowa or Baylor?
No, Iowa.
Oh, Iowa, yeah.
Yeah.
Iowa ain't played nobody.
Yeah, they played some. Who did they play? Who did they play? Because they're top 5 now. Who did they play last week? Illinois. They're playing Illinois. No, Illinois. I'm sorry. Colorado State. That's who it was. Colorado State.
Oh man, I think that was like 24-14.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but it was again a late score to kind of pad
that's I was not good.
Yeah.
There aren't that many good teams this year.
Baylor. So Baylor beats Iowa State. It wasn't a shocker, but it was still, a top 25 team. Baylor, I don't think, was ranked at the time. And then we have Georgia Tech beat North Carolina. I think North Carolina is now knocked out of the top 25 because it's their second loss.
Yep, they're done. So the famed North Carolina versus Clemson matchup is over.
Mm-hmm. In week 4 or 5? I don't even know what week we're in.
Miami, as bad as Miami has been, they can win the ACC. They went out because we haven't played any ACC games yet.
5-5.
No, I said went out. The only bad thing about that is no firing Diaz. You know who I want?
That's like your worst nightmare. Who do you want?
Cristobal. I can want him.
You can want him.
Okay, heck, I want Saban.
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but Cristobal's name's been mentioned.
I mean, he has the connections.
Yeah, he's the king. But I don't see why he would leave Oregon right now.
No.
Unless it's a dream job.
Like Harbaugh back at Michigan.
Big mistake. He's done nothing.
You know what? I was thinking about that. He's like, when he was at Stanford, he had a fire in his belly.
Mm-hmm.
When he was with the 49ers, he had a fire in his belly.
Mm-hmm.
Here, he's like good boy Jim. Like, doesn't ruffle any feathers. Like he wants to be whatever it was that they called the Michigan man. Like, he's doing that now. When before he was just a bad boy, he didn't care. He wanted to win games, and he was ruthless about it. That's the Jim Harbaugh I was hoping for, because that's a Jim Harbaugh that was great for college football.
Let Michigan keep losing. I don't care.
It's not good for football, though, man.
You know what's good for football? Miami winning. How about that?
Football is going on fine with Miami just doing what it's doing right now.
Oh, it's not.
Not for you.
Football is good when USC, Miami, Bama, Ohio State, Oklahoma, they're all winning at the same time in their peak states. And you got massive showdowns coming up.
Well, there's plenty of massive showdowns. Like we've got massive showdowns coming up.
All the massive showdowns are in the SEC. Well, outside the SEC, what massive showdown?
Oh, yeah. You're saying outside the SEC.
Yeah.
Now
you're throwing Oklahoma and Texas. You got zero massive showdowns.
Yeah, it's true. That's true. That's different now. That's different.
Yeah.
Now. Get used to it.
You could just shut off the rest of college football and just watch SEC.
Yeah, I mean, you really could. You really could.
That's what I do.
Let's go. Yeah, I know. Georgia Tech beats North Carolina. All right, let's go. Because yeah, there wasn't a lot of games to choose from this week. So um Miami, Central Connecticut, they won 69-0.
Whatever.
UCLA beat Stanford. I didn't notice, but Stanford had like three of the running backs out and a tight end out, I guess, and then like 3 or 4 defenders. Coronavirus, I guess.
Okay.
So I was like, they're still doing that whole thing. I was like, man, it's hard enough to win a football game, and you're down 7 players. Like I didn't realize that they were out. It's like, man, all these guys got hurt
players because they tested and they feel good. Well, I'm sick. I didn't know that.
So that's last week. Let's go to this week's games. Baylor, Oklahoma State. I didn't realize Baylor or Oklahoma State was ranked, but Baylor is
ranked too.
Yeah, they're ranked. They're both ranked. That's why I wrote it down.
They both went from unranked to ranked, and now they play each other.
This last week's game. Yeah, Baylor's 21, Oklahoma State 19. Who's the coach at Baylor now? Because
I don't remember his name.
Matt Rule is that. Who's the guy with the Panthers now? Is that Matt Rule?
I believe so.
Oh shoot, I forgot the one of the biggest games. Hold on. Arkansas and
A&M.
A&M. Yeah, I forgot how I didn't write that down.
Is Arkansas for real?
The quarterback, because I finally watched him. He reminds me of Cardale Jones.
Yeah, you were texting me.
Yeah. Did you see the quarterback?
Uh-huh.
He's probably like a little quicker, a little bit faster version of him.
See,
he's a little slimmed down.
Arkansas routed Texas, right? And they beat A&M, of course. A&M is not the A&M that you saw that was ranked in the preseason because they don't have their quarterback, and their backup quarterback is not playing. He's playing like a backup quarterback. So A&M ain't scoring no points. Their defense is going to have to carry them. And in the SEC, that just ain't going to fly if you can't score points. So we'll see how good Arkansas is this week, because this week they play Georgia.
But the thing though is they have athletes. Because to me
they're much better than they were though. I'll tell you that.
They came out the blue like that. I'm not gonna say they weren't on my radar for sure. I'm like, oh, Arkansas, whatever. But I guess they had recruited like 5 or 6 like sprinters, 10 guys that were 10-5 or faster, and they got just an influx of speed. The quarterback got hurt, and the freshman came in, and they're like, yeah, this is one of those 10-5 guys. So he's a freshman. Really, hasn't grown into his body yet, but you could see in 2-3 years, like this kid is going to be, grown to his body. And if he keeps his speed, he can be dangerous. But they had a lot of speed. They've got size. Oh, the thing that really stood out too was the announcers were even saying it is they were rushing 3, and they were getting monstrous amount of pressure just with three down linemen, man. So that's like, whatever you did, however long you had those guys, they can do that. I mean, they were winning 3
They probably confused the heck out of Calzada.
No, they were on the back end, but they were getting, they were beating them 3-on-5. They should have been able to handle it.
Were they beating them, or were there some coverage sacks?
No, they were they were beating them.
Okay.
They had an edge rusher, and he was beating up his guy. That's why I was like, usually you could see it's like, okay, the pocket is formed and then it kind of collapses. No, they were eating up those blocks and getting through in the lanes, and it was just like, wow, these guys are something else.
I give Arkansas props. I mean, now they're up to 8, but they're playing the big boys now. They're in the wrong conference. They're playing Alabama and Georgia's on their schedule. And the SEC and the rest of the SEC West. It's
they're going to see if they can go over to the Big 12.
It's midnight. Cinderella, the shoe don't fit.
Yeah, that's a tough draw. It's going to be like that until Saban.
They're in the wrong conference.
Until Saban retired. But hey, man, they look good. I mean, you could say what we want about Texas being overrated, but they were on the schedule and they beat them. A&M was on the schedule and they beat them. You still got to win.
Yeah. They beat two decent teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're better than they've been.
Yeah, they're better than they've been. So I think that covers
It's
last
a stretch, but yeah.
So yeah, Baylor Okie State. I'm not sure who the regular coach is, but Mike Gundy over to Okie State. They've always put up a lot of points. Who is the coach, man? That's gonna bother me now.
Yeah, I don't think either one's like, I think Baylor played Texas Tech. I don't think either one's played anybody good.
Well, Baylor played Iowa State. That's why they're ranked.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's Texas State.
Texas State. Okay,
hold on. I can't. I don't even know what the abbreviation is because at the Texas. Yeah, so Texas State, and then I think this is Texas San Antonio.
Who?
Baylor.
Baylor is notorious
Texas
for scheduling 4 pansies before
Texas Southern. Oh, you're gonna love this. So they had Texas State, Texas Southern, and then Kansas.
Wow. What a brutal schedule.
That was the lead up to Iowa State.
Whatever, man. They ought to be ashamed of themselves.
So they played Iowa State and they won by 2. Now they have Oklahoma State. See, Oklahoma State's played.
Baylor ain't good. Their schedule is very favorable. How about
that? MOST. Who is this? Oh, Missouri State. Yeah, we said this one. That's before the call. I was like, who is this? I still don't know who it is.
Too?
No, this is
Oklahoma
sorry,
State?
Baylor. Sorry, this is Baylor.
Dang, Baylor.
And then they played Tulsa. That's decent. And then they played Boise. They won by 1 against Boise.
Who did?
And this is all
Oklahoma State now.
Oklahoma State.
Yeah, they went to Boise, actually.
Yeah, at Boise, and then against Kansas State, who's the top 25 team.
I like Oklahoma State in that game.
Yeah, I think I'd have to go with the same. They're going to put up points. Oh, they had a quarterback. I remember. I don't know if he's still there. He was fast for Oklahoma State. I was like, oh, this guy's going to be dangerous. Where's Oklahoma State? Where is it? I think his name is Sanders.
I think he was there last year.
He was like a sophomore, I think, last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I had seen him play a few times. Like, oh, this guy moves around really well, and he just slings it. So,
but those teams are going to be the Big 12's up for grabs. Oklahoma's beatable.
Yeah,
at least right now they are.
Yeah, yeah.
The only thing that surprised me, but it's like Oklahoma's reverse of last year. Last year they're scoring a ton of points and giving up a ton of points. This year they ain't scoring no points, but they ain't giving up no points. Yeah. So I don't get that.
Yeah. With Spencer Rattler, man, that was the thing. It's like, hey, this guy.
He was a Heisman guy.
He's gonna be dealing.
Now the 2 Heisman guys play each other this week. Alabama, Mississippi.
Matt Corral. Yeah.
But Mississippi hasn't played anybody.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at their schedule,
Louisville, I think, is the only one I can think of.
That was Mississippi State that played Louisville.
I keep on getting them confused. Yeah,
I know. I get USC and UCLA confused.
I get Miami and Central Carolina confused.
No. I get UCLA and Pacific confused.
Did you guys lose to FIU?
When you say just, we didn't play them this year.
Last year. You just lost.
We didn't play them last year. We
You were
did
lucky.
a few years ago. We did.
You were like, "Ooh, thanks COVID." Ooh.
That was terrible. It was 14-7 too. That was disgusting.
Gross.
And then we lost to Louisiana Tech, like 14-0 in a bowl game.
Shame. It's a shame.
It is. I feel like a UCLA fan right now thinking about it.
So Arkansas, or Baylor, Okie State. Did we talk about Arkansas, Georgia? Yeah, that's gonna be ferocious, man. Because that Arkansas front, or I'm sorry, that Georgia front is nothing nice.
By ferocious, you mean close?
No, the Georgia front is ferocious.
Oh,
they're a handful.
Mm-hmm.
And the Arkansas QB, he got hurt in the last game, so I don't even know what his health is. So he's going to be going into it. I don't know if he goes into the game already, a little dinged up. I mean, it's college football. It's kind of how it goes. But man, to go from playing A&M to now having to go play Georgia the next week, that's no days off.
Mm-hmm. Well, welcome to the SEC.
Yeah. Yeah, the running game for Arkansas, the offense has looked good for Arkansas, where I would say this might be the best offense that Georgia has played so far. Is that fair? Is that fair to say from what you've seen too?
Yeah, thinking about who they played. Yeah,
because the Clemson offense hasn't looked good.
Vanderbilt's offense is not.
Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, and then I think they played South Carolina. Is that who Georgia played?
Yeah, and then they played a FCS school after.
Yeah,
like a Mercer or something.
So I think this might be the best.
Yeah, but I don't know how good
so far.
Arkansas's offense is.
Because the Arkansas offense, it wasn't like they were blowing out the A&M defense, but they looked like they were making plays, and they were getting you would call like a successful offensive play. When they'd run the ball, they'd get 4 yards a carry. That's what it looked like anyway when the first quarterback was in, and then it changed once the backup came in. So right. It wasn't the full game, but it looked like it. If they had kept on going, it was eventually going to kind of let loose. But the kid got hurt.
Well, they ain't letting loose Saturday.
Where is that game at? Is it in Athens?
I think so.
Arkansas. Stanford Stadium. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, between the hedges.
Well.
What's that?
That's not going to go very well. What about Michigan and Wisconsin?
We talked about this before. The Wisconsin, like the Notre Dame Wisconsin score surprised me. So I thought, I was like, man, they just fell apart. They're not very good because they lost to, they played Penn State close. They actually should have won against Penn State. They had a lot of like red zone turnovers or yep. bad plays in the red zone. And so I was like, oh, okay, Wisconsin, then loses again. Notre Dame. It's like, oh, they're not that good. But then I rewatched the game, and like that was a close game into the fourth quarter. They've been tested. Those are two good teams, right, to lose to, Notre Dame and Penn State. Whereas Michigan, I think they played Rutgers. They played a bad Washington team.
Michigan's terrible. I don't know what else to tell you. 20-13 against Rutgers.
Well,
don't make me go and check Rutgers' other scores.
They got your boy Schiano though.
Yeah.
So this is not Rutgers from 4 years ago. This is Rutgers, because remember he built up that program when it was
that ain't that program. That ain't those guys.
No, it's not those guys. But this is a guy that can coach, and so it's not that same team.
You know what? I love it how you try to build up teams that suck. So, Cincinnati at Notre Dame. Who do you like?
I got to go. Well, I guess it depends on who the quarterback's going to be for Notre Dame.
I'm going to still take Notre Dame.
They have it. Oh, you know what? Well, the Desmond Ridder kid, he's been there for a long time, man.
Ritter's good, but they struggled against Indiana, who struggled against Western Kentucky. So Notre Dame, struggled in every game, and then had a coming out party in one quarter where they put up 31 points, came together as a team.
I think this is a neutral site game.
Momentum. Huh?
I think this is a neutral site game.
Oh, I think it's at Soldier Field.
Is this the game that was at Soldier Field? I thought last week's game was at Soldier Field.
I think it's this week.
Notre Dame.
You're the one who told me.
No, this is at Notre Dame.
Is it Notre Dame?
Yeah. So
you lied to me.
It was the Wisconsin. No, it was the Wisconsin game. Was it Soldier Field?
Wisconsin, Penn State?
No, Wisconsin, Notre Dame.
Ah, you're right. Okay. You didn't lie to me.
No, I didn't.
Ole Miss and Alabama.
Wait, so you're going Notre Dame?
Notre Dame. Cinderella time for Cincinnati.
Time's up.
Cincinnati and Arkansas. Cinderella, baby. It's midnight.
Oh, I wouldn't call Arkansas Cinderella. They're just gonna get, and that schedule's just too tough, man. Just think about it. You have to go from Texas A&M, and you got to play Georgia. They didn't get a cupcake before. They had Texas A&M. Even though this is not the same Texas A&M team, that's still a physical football team. Yeah. So, but Cincy, let's look at who they've played so far. Cincinnati.
They what?
Let's see who they played so far. They're 3-0, so they've had a bye week already. Miami of Ohio, Murray State, Indiana. Yeah.
Like
I'm
I
going
said.
Notre Dame.
I'm going to. All right. Ole Miss and Bama.
Man, you know what?
I'm not. No. I'm not pumped. No. Before you say anything, look who Ole Miss has played.
I'm not even gonna say who they've played. Lane Kiffin can score points. That's
look who they scored points on.
I'm talking since the Lane train has come into Ole Miss.
No. I like Ole Miss. I like Lane Kiffin. No.
Matt Corral's the type of quarterback that'll give you problems.
Tell you what, give me the 14.
Is that what it is?
Mm-hmm.
Louisville.
Not give me. I'll give you the 14.
Who's AP?
AP.
Austin P.
Come on, man.
It's Louisville, Tulane. Austin
They
P.
played Louisville?
Yeah, that was the first game. It was them. You kept on saying it was Mississippi State.
My bad. And Louisville don't have no defense. Louisville's got a good quarterback, but they got no defense.
Matt Corral's a junior.
Yeah, I don't. Sorry, man.
I think Bama's lost some guys.
Matt Corral lit him up last year.
So I'm trying to tell you.
Mississippi put up 40 on him last year.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, well, no.
And this is with a full because was last year his first year? I think last year was his first year.
It was.
With no real fall camp. 14, that's what they're saying.
14 and a half, I think. No.
You don't think they cover that though?
Nope. Can we move on, or you still got something else to say?
No, I don't.
You still got something foolish
is it at Bryant Denny?
It's in Alabama.
It's at Bryant Denny.
No.
Have they had a press conference yet?
Probably.
That's probably tomorrow. Lane Kiffin is great in press conferences, man.
He's gonna have some lines about Saban. He's gonna compliment the heck out of him, as he should. Okay, so what are the chances? Do you think Stanford's good?
No.
Okay, so they're not gonna come close. They're not gonna touch Oregon at Stanford.
Wait, what game are you talking about?
Oregon at Stanford.
Oh yeah.
Is Oregon on upset alert in that game?
No, well, Oregon plays or Stanford plays Oregon tough. So that's one of those. But Stanford is not scoring points. But they also had 4 guys last week out on offense and 3 or 4 guys out on I don't think that they just don't have the athletes of the speed to keep up with Oregon.
Okay. You got Oklahoma at Kansas State. That's Oklahoma. Ohio State.
Is it Oklahoma? Because Kansas State is not. They're not a. That's not a walkover football team.
I'd be very surprised if Kansas State beats Oklahoma.
I would not be surprised this year. Not this year.
Okay.
Because that's the thing, right? Like we have it in our mind. We have like years of like, yeah, of course, Oklahoma's.
Who's beating Kansas State?
Who beat Kansas State? Who is it playing Oklahoma this week? Kansas State. I think they lost late to somebody. Oklahoma State beat them.
Okay. That's their only loss?
That's the only loss. They beat Stanford. They beat Nevada. And then...
That's right. They beat Stanford.
Southern Illinois.
Huh. Okay. Stanford's not good, but... Okay.
Stanford
I remember that was an opener.
Stanford beat Vanderbilt. Top SEC team.
Were you flipping the pyramid or something? What about Ohio State at Rutgers? Rutgers is good all of a sudden to you. So
I don't say they're good. They're just not like they were terrible 2 years ago, right? That's what I'm saying. They're not like this just football team that is like Arizona is right now. Like that's a terrible football team right now. Rutgers is.
I think Stroud is still out, isn't he?
For Ohio State?
Yeah.
I don't think he was out.
No, he wasn't out, but didn't he get hurt in that game?
I don't remember him being hurt.
I think he's questionable.
Where's Ohio State at? 11.
Don't matter. They should still win.
Trayvon Henderson. Yeah, I don't see anything here about him being hurt.
I thought on my FanDuel he was questionable. I could be wrong. You got Florida and Kentucky. No problems with that one.
Kentucky's supposed to be. I heard they're supposed to be on the up this year. I haven't seen them play yet.
I don't know about that, but
they had a transfer quarterback from Penn State, I think.
Well, Florida's got they had to play Bama. They played Tennessee tough. Florida's due for a letdown.
So Kentucky beat South Carolina and they beat Mizzou so far, plus their 2 paycheck games.
What's their record?
They're undefeated.
Look at the Wildcats. All right. I don't see them winning, but it's possible.
Their 2 wins are Missouri. Missouri's not been good. In South Carolina, that one was a slugfest. It looks like 16-10.
So you got Mississippi State at A&M.
I'm gonna go Mississippi State on that one.
At A&M, yeah. I mean, Texas until Texas can win with that backup. Indiana at Penn State.
I'll go Penn State.
Yep. Here's going to be an interesting game. Boston College at Clemson.
Yes.
If that was at Boston College, I would take them.
Yeah.
But Boston College at Clemson. Who do you like?
I was thinking the same thing. It's like this is going to be a really interesting game to see how Clemson responds.
Boston College is not a bad team this year, though.
No, they're not. No.
Auburn at LSU.
Bo Nix got benched. I didn't know that.
I don't know who's starting.
I don't know either.
That's gonna be an interesting game.
The thing that's funny is that you said that they had a quick guy come in. Bo Nix is not. He's not slow.
He's not slow, but they benched him and he wasn't doing anything.
Yeah.
And remember, I told you I didn't think I don't think he's improved.
Progressed. Yeah.
Yeah. So
is this your one? This is Brian Harsin, right? This is the head coach of Auburn right now.
Mm-hmm.
LSU, I feel like I haven't heard from them in a little bit.
No, yeah, that's they won the national championship.
But they played games. Let's see. Oh, they're playing paycheck game. They beat Mississippi State.
Yeah, they did last week.
Mm-hmm.
And in the final game, I'm gonna give to you and just let you comment on a nothing burger. Arizona State at UCLA.
We got to go for yours first because you guys play first. Miami, Virginia.
I don't know if De'Aaron King's playing, but I do like our two quarterbacks, our freshmen. Virginia scores points, lots of them. I don't know who's going to win that game.
That sounds like Virginia's going to win.
I would not be surprised if Virginia won that game.
Bronco Mendenhall, those teams are usually physical. I wouldn't say they're disciplined. From what I remember, because I'm going back to watching them at BYU, but I know he had them in their conference title game a year ago, 2 years, a year ago, or 2 years ago.
Who?
Virginia, because they weren't they in there?
No,
because I know they had was it Bryce Perkins, the quarterback?
You know where Bryce Perkins is now?
Where?
Rams.
So yeah, he was a quarterback there, and I remember like they did well, and then he left, and so there was
agile. Yeah.
So now I guess how long ago was that then that he was out? That's a year or two ago, right?
Yeah, about 2 years.
Okay, so last year, yeah, I think Virginia wins this game. I think because just the discipline factor, Miami just does not. If first of all, they don't put themselves in positions to win, and then they get penalties on top of it and just make it harder. It's like, okay, that's done. So I think it'd actually be interesting to see if a quarterback can come in and just kind of let them make some schoolyard plays. Let our boy James Williams do some things. Put him up in the box, blitz him. Yeah, I'd have to go Virginia on that one. Strictly because the Manny Diaz factor, man.
What about the Manny Diaz factor?
It's like your coach. You have athletes, and so it's like, oh, that's a +2, and then you have a coach that's undisciplined, so that's like a -2. So it's like, okay,
yeah,
you lose the advantage of having great athletes because of
yeah, he does. He doesn't use them right. They're undercoached. They're underprepared. That don't matter.
Yeah,
Virginia could win that game easily.
Because to me, it's like, hey, there's no way. Like I like Bubba Bolden because I liked him when he was being recruited out of Bishop Gorman to go to USC. I was like, oh damn, this is a physical kid, man. Like that was a kid that you'd put him in the box, right? And then you got James Williams. He's like, you can't tell me you can't find a way. You can't if your defense doesn't allow for you to have two studs on the field at the same time, even though they kind of play similar positions. Like, hey man, you gotta do something else. You gotta find a way to get those two dogs on there.
We'll see what happens, man. Matt, I can't even pump up Miami.
Is this at Virginia or is this done in
Miami? It's in Miami. Don't matter. Miami doesn't have any home field advantage.
No, I know. I'm just saying because it would definitely
it just means they don't have to travel to Roanoke. That's all.
So yeah, I'm gonna go Virginia on that one based off of because I don't even think I watched Virginia play last year. I'm saying that even the year before.
I've seen them. I haven't seen them, but I've seen their scores. I've seen their stats, and they put up numbers.
We might as well look at them. Let's see where they at. They're not top 25.
I think they played Duke. They played.
What's the?
They lost to Wake Forest in a high scoring.
Wake Forest. That was the game. Oh, they lost to North Carolina, 59-39. Ooh.
Yeah, Virginia plays no D though.
Yeah, I'm about to go with Virginia on this one. They can score at least.
Yeah, they can.
Because Miami hasn't scored, have they? I mean, struggled against App State, struggled against Michigan State. Yeah. Yeah, they
who
don't
beat Nebraska in overtime. That's just sickening.
Yeah, Miami doesn't score, man. So yeah, I'm going Virginia. UCLA, ASU. That's usually it goes back and forth, switches from year to year. I think UCLA won last year. Jaden Daniels, he's a dual threat quarterback. They got athletes there at ASU.
Athletes.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Who's the guy at the 49ers right now? Ayuk?
The wide receiver?
Yeah.
I think he's in New England. The wide receiver of Arizona State.
No, there's one with the Niners now too. There was the one from the Patriots drafted.
So far we're talking athlete, singular.
Athletes, because there was a guy from the Niners too.
Well, every year they graduate an athlete. So,
well, that's all it takes in the Pac-12. There's like the one guy
you're
who
right.
just dominate, and so that's the athlete that we need and they have a few of them this year. Antonio Pierce can recruit, man. Former sack dog.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
I can't even call that game. That can go either way.
I think the same too. And Dorian Thompson-Robinson, he got hurt towards the end of the game too. So I don't know what his status is.
If I had to pick one, I'll take ASU, but not by much.
Just to be a hater.
No, because they're at home.
No, I think this is at UCLA.
Is it?
I think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, it's at the Rose Bowl.
Told you. Yeah, I'll take UCLA. See, I'm not hating. Go with the home team.
It's a 7:30 game. Everybody's gonna be asleep.
They're gonna be napping.
Everybody's gonna be asleep by that time.
No one's gonna watch that game. It's on the Pac-12 network, isn't it?
I hope not, man.
I bet. Look, it's on the Pac-12 network.
What is it? Does it even show the TV on here?
Right after the Oregon Stanford game.
Oh man.
No, Oregon Stanford's on ABC or Fox.
It doesn't even say what channel it's on.
Because it's not. That's sad too. You gotta listen, you gotta go old school. Get your transistor radio out. Listen to some UCLA, Arizona State football.
You know what? I bet you
28.
wish you could listen to Miami football instead of having to watch it. It's like worse. Like we're on
ESPN. ESPN. Entertainment Sports Network. You heard of them?
Oh, it's on Fox Sports.
What is?
The UCLA game's on Fox Sports.
Fox Sports is losing money that game.
Well, 7:30. They mean it's not their prime time.
No one on the East Coast is watching. I guarantee that.
No.
No one's staying up for that.
Yeah, that's a hard game to stay up for.
Yep.
I'll probably take a nap so I can watch it.
Shh. I ain't watching it.
I don't know what to tell you because you watched. Did you even watch Miami App State?
I did.
It's terrible football, man. You know what you should actually, instead of watching Miami play tomorrow, you should watch St. John Bosco Mater Dei.
Nope. I'll watch Cincinnati and Jacksonville and Miami and Virginia.
The Mater Dei football team is coached better than the Miami football team.
That may be true, but I have a chance to win an ACC title, so guess what? I'm watching it.
A chance.
Just give me a chance.
Just give me a chance, baby.
You say there's a chance.
The thing is, that conference is not good this year. That you're right that it doesn't even mean anything.
It doesn't. No one's going to the playoffs from that conference. At least the Pac-12, for the first time in about 5 years, has a legit shot for one team to go to the playoffs. Because, as I said, the Pac-12 went 16-16 and lost 10 to 10 non-power.
Let's go back and look at the top 25.
All right.
I mean, because I think a lot of these teams end up losing. Let me share my screen. All right. So Ohio State already has a loss. Florida already has a loss. Notre Dame and Cincinnati are going to play each other. So that's going to be a loss. Oklahoma hasn't looked good yet. And who do they still have to play? They still have to play Texas.
Well, they got their whole conference.
They still have to play Texas, TCU, Baylor, Iowa State, and Oklahoma State. You think they lose one or two of those games?
Two? No. One, maybe.
One?
Maybe.
Iowa, I think they lose a game.
Oh, Iowa's.
Let's see. Maryland, Penn State, Purdue, Wisconsin. So between Penn State and Wisconsin, Northwestern, Minnesota, Illinois, Nebraska.
And if they get past those guys, actually, that's a light schedule. If they get past those guys, they got to play the Ohio State probably in the Big 12 championship game and Big 10 championship game.
So I think they lose two games.
They're not good.
Arkansas, they're playing Bama this weekend. Dang, but who else did they play besides Bama? Because
they got the SEC West. They got everybody else.
Let's see. Georgia, Mississippi, Auburn, Mississippi State, LSU. Oh my gosh.
They're done.
Yeah. That's brutal, man. Look at this. Georgia, Mississippi, Auburn, LSU, Bama. Ugh. That is not nice. Yeah.
Let me tell you a scenario that could play out. Florida runs the table and beats Georgia in the Southeast in their matchup, right? And then goes into the Southeast Conference Championship game, upsets Bama, or even loses to Bama. Then Georgia doesn't have to play Bama, so they go in with one loss. Bama goes in, and then Florida goes in too, because they beat the number 2 team and barely lost to the number 1 seed, and either beat Bama or loses to them, but they can go in with 1 or 2 losses in the playoffs. And now you got 3 SEC teams in there.
I don't think they'll put 3 SEC. Well, I'm not gonna say nothing this year, really.
I'm talking about because of the mediocrity this year. Because if you're picking the other 2 teams right now, it's Oregon and who?
Right now, if I had to pick, let's see who would you be your top 4 right now from what you've seen. Bama, Georgia,
yeah,
Oregon, and Penn State. That'd be my 4. Today,
who's number 6 right now?
Yeah, I'll share my screen. Oklahoma is. So it goes right now. It's Bama, Georgia, Oregon, Penn State. Oh yeah, that's the top 4 right now.
Yeah, I would go
Iowa, Oklahoma, Cincinnati, Arkansas, Notre Dame.
You know what? I would still put Oklahoma over Penn State because I don't think Auburn is as good as advertised.
But Penn State's already beaten Wisconsin, and
I don't think Wisconsin's 2-2.
Right, but they lost to Penn State and they lost to Notre Dame. Both of them are in the top 10.
Well, I don't think you can go wrong with Penn State being 4 or Oklahoma being 4. So, I mean, I can rock with the 4 that are there right now.
Yeah, I don't think you really have another choice. This might be the
Yeah.
year of the outsider too, man. BYU, if they
No,
went out,
stop. No,
who
no,
else? Who else, Ricky? Let's see.
no.
They beat up the Pac-12. They play
The
Boise
team that
State. They play Baylor. They play
no,
Virginia.
no,
They play USC. They play
no.
USC. That's crazy.
Yeah, they do. I'm gonna tell you the team that gets in if they went out. That's not mentioned. Notre Dame.
Well, that's a given. I think people. I don't know. We've seen that story before, though.
Yeah, they went out. They're in.
Virginia
Virginia
Tech,
Tech, SC, North
SC.
Carolina, who's not that good now.
That's
They'll get in.
yeah. This is Notre Dame's year.
Yes, that's my point.
North Carolina's not good. Oh, I guess the Virginia game will probably be the scary game for them. Well, I'll check them out tomorrow. I'll see
I
if I have
don't
some
think
time.
Penn State runs the table. So you get a Notre Dame and possibly where do they play Ohio State? At Ohio State. So you get a Notre Dame, and I think Oklahoma guts it out as bad as they look. Oh, wait, Oregon. So now you got between Oregon and Oklahoma. Who's going to lose first?
Oregon or Oklahoma?
Yeah.
I got it. Just based off of, I'm not even looking at the schedule. I'm just saying based off of how they've looked so far, I'd say Oklahoma because they've been. It's kind of the same thing with Clemson, right? Things have been closer than they should have been for a while, and then
it has been. I'm gonna go with Oregon to lose first.
You think so?
Yeah, because they're a perennial choker.
Well, Oklahoma loses a game or two, also, right?
I don't know. Every now and then.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That'll be an interesting one.
This is a hard year, Ricky.
Yeah,
like usually by now, like there's like you could say like, hey, these are the three studs. The beauty pageant is
2 studs.
The beauty pageant is looking nice, but right now it's just Alabama, Georgia, and I don't even know if it's really fair for Arkansas, man, to have to go off of a tough game and go right into Georgia. I don't know anybody else who's done that because Ole Miss I think had a bye week last week.
Well, keep in mind, we're judging Georgia because they beat Clemson and dominated them, which is not a big feat now.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how good Georgia
That's what
really
I mean.
is.
But Ole Miss, I mean, they played Tulane on September 18th, and they get a bye week, and then they play Bama. That's the way a good program sets them up. Bama, they played. They last played on the 25th, but they had a paycheck game. So they played Florida, paycheck game.
Southern Miss.
Is that who that is? Southern Miss?
Yep.
So give the SEC credit, man. Those ADs take care of them.
Yeah, they play their cupcake game at the bottom before their rivalry.
Or they give them a bye week. Or the week after a tough game, they get a cupcake game. Nice little breather.
But
heal up.
But while the other schools are playing their cupcake games, they're playing tough matchups in the first week or two of the season.
That Arkansas schedule is brutal, man.
Yeah, well, they're in the wrong conference. All their games are going to be brutal.
No, but I mean, sometimes you can say like, "Dang, that's a hard schedule." Oh man,
and they schedule Texas.
That's what I mean. They could have not scheduled Texas, and that schedule still would have been brutal.
Yep.
So I'm not gonna.
We'll see how good they are.
Yeah, they got to play right. No excuses. I get all that, but if they get run out the building, I'd still kind of want to take a look at them going down the line because I think the quarterback is banged up, and they just came off of a very physical game in Jerry World. So that's really tough to do, man. That's like the NFL, right? You just there's no weeks off. Like That's kind of what that looks like right now to me. In college, usually you'll get a paycheck game. You can schedule, a bye week, or get a so-so, but to go back to back that way. And then I think they go, man, I'm just look at this thing. This thing is just tough to look at, but I'm gonna look at it. Like, this is just brutal. See, they go, and they got Ole Miss after that. See what I mean? That's, and then Auburn right after.
Yeah.
That there is no 4-game stretch tougher than that.
You can't blame the AD on that. It's just that's
you can. You could
really?
you could have look at Arkansas. Pine Bluff is right here. They gave him Texas. Let's look at Bama's.
They had Georgia Southern and Rice.
Look, so they got Miami, Mercer, okay?
Yeah.
And then they play Florida, and then they give them Southern Miss. See, they give them that breather. And then they have Ole Miss. Then they play Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Tennessee, bye week, LSU, New Mexico State. See, they play Arkansas. See, they play New Mexico State before they play Arkansas.
Well, they play Arkansas before they play Auburn.
Yeah, but that's broken up a little bit more. You see what I mean? Like, at least they get like a cupcake in between. Like, you could say what you want, like, hey, they play cupcakes, but man, that's a brutal schedule. So you need that. You need some calories in there, man. Get some rest. That's brutal, man. That Arkansas schedule is brutal. I can't think of a schedule seeing that in any year where it's just that it's lined up like that in a long time. That's a murderer's row. So they're going to lose games, but I can't. It's like you can't hold it against them. Like I guess like the Ohio State lost to Oregon. It's like, okay, they lost to Oregon, so they're not going to fall too far. But man, that's a tough draw.
Yeah, it is.
You got anything else, Ricky baby?
No, I'm good, man. Looking forward to some more college football this weekend. Starting tomorrow.
You gonna DVR that bad boy? Rewatch it?
No. No.
You know what they should do is I think they did like if you pay a certain amount, or like if you win like a raffle, like you can call plays, like have a fan call plays.
Let me do it.
Be like Madden, like to give you the screen, like, all right, man, I want to go 3 wide, or call the defense, like, all right, bring in my boy James Williams, sub him out.
Yeah, let me call the defensive plays.
Send everybody.
Put some pressure on that quarterback.
Yeah, man. All right, man. This is the Read Your Keys podcast, college football edition. This is my boy Ricky Monte. He thinks he knows a lot about football, but I just have him on here to help him out. But I appreciate it. Pretty Ricky, baby. All right, man. Have a good night.
All righty.